Absolutely right. It's forced.
Otherwise, he's busted.
That's right. He could
Otherwise,
resign.
he's getting crushed.
I didn't
so
see
Wesley
the end.
has to go with rook b1. He has to completely reset. He's played rook b7 instead. He's played rook to b7
that's
and is
gotta be the
allowing
loss.
an attack against his king directly.
No way.
This
No
is
way
no
you
way you
survive.
survive this. You're going to
Queen-
get killed. Queen e6 check.
Queen
to
e6 check.
start is murderous.
Queen e6 check and queen takes g4 check.
4 seconds. 3, 2,
Check.
and he's played bishop
Bishop
d5
d5.
and queen d5. We cannot guess this young man's moves as he sacked a piece. Instead of going for that, he's played
in
queen
the-
d5, hitting the rook on b7. By the
Firouzja
way,
in the house.
playing some
Wow.
amazing attacking chess with his time ticking to the end. Queen back to e4 with check.
What a subtlety with no time on his clock. He could just grab the rook, reclaiming all the material that he's invested.
And look at Wesley's hand shake. You see Wesley's hand shake right at that moment.
He's
And for the first
nervous.
time, Wesley is under Firouzja on the clock. He's taking on f6.
Allowing a check on c6. That looks decisive.
Wow.
Ooh, and he's done it.
And
He's
it's on the
done it.
board. That king is being raked over the coals.
Ooh,
This is
Wesley.
over. Black is busted.
Oh
Wesley
my
so
goodness.
going down from a spectacular advantage, winning attacking position. Now he's the one under attack with only 12 seconds left.
What a turnaround. Almira was completely right when she says the little prince.
5 seconds.
How he stayed in this game is beyond understanding. It looked like he was so crushed. King g5 inviting rook f5 check when black has to give up his queen.
Rook e5 check.
Rook
you
e5
mean?
check, queen e5, d e5.
And now
There's a
down
rook
to
b1
9
check.
seconds. He's
Is
shaking as
Firouzja-
well. You see his hand. And
It's
he's played rook
nervous, and he's
e5,
played
offering the trade, and that has occurred. Is this as winning? The engine says no.
No.
The engine says this was a big mistake. He should
No,
have. He
taking
should
the
have
rook.
gone for the rook on b7 after the queen d5 check subtlety, which I don't understand myself. But this is now equal, except that
No.
last move, rook f7, is bad because of e6. The evaluation going back and forth with the time ticking
Jumping
down.
up and down.
We don't know what's going to happen in this game.
Well,
and
that-
Wesley again, nervous as ever, as you see his handshake there. Rook to f6.
Ooh, he's invited a queen check, and there's this e7 sighting as well. Oh dear, this might just have been a blunder. I thought rook e7 was forced. Oh my
Queen
goodness.
d7 with
d7.
a sure hand. Did you see the way he played?
Yeah,
with a
like,
sure hand,
I
not
got
quick,
this.
not nervous. I got enough time. You deal with my pawn going to e7,
E7.
and to e8. How does your rook coordinate properly to stop this?
Wesley must have been thinking that he had something like a doubling of the rooks or a
has doubled
g3.
rooks.
But wait a minute, rook, that wasn't the rook doubling I expected. I was thinking that he was going to go rook h2 and try to make a perpetual check.
4 seconds. And queen g7 check. He likes to go down to 2 seconds. You notice that?
He does. Oh my, I'd be so nervous.
And Wesley now at 11
Why?
seconds, trying to figure out where to put his king, and he's put it on h4. And now, what's the deal? Is there a perpet with the rooks? It doesn't look like it. e7 seems boss. And again, down, you let it be 4 seconds, he's taken, and now you could check a little bit, but the king will dance up the board.
Is just running
And
away.
just hide. And look at Wesley. That look said it all right there. He looked away knowing that he's going to lose this game. That was
no
a look
way.
of a broken man. He's a frustrated man saying this is over now. His king is too exposed to checks that will pick off one of those rooks.
Well, okay, exactly how does it work? Because we've got a rook check to f2. That's the correct check. Then he's going to play rook on f2 to f3 so that the rook will be protected by the g-pawn, and then he can move his attacked rook on f8 to e8, and it's not so
But what do
clear.
you can't see? There's got to be a way to win that.
Just for example, king d3, and Firouzja's reaching king e3, okay? And another rook check, and now here's the problem. Wherever you put your king, whether it be e4 or d4, the rook on f8 can dance. Rook to e8. Why is this so easy? And he's done it.
And check.
Instantly check. instantly
queen-
checked.
he's showing.
Firouzja
he's
showing the
why
way.
Right now. He got it.
Asked
He's
and
got it. He's going to bring his queen
answered.
down to D7, and bye-bye rook. He's just
or
lifted the blockade.
Yeah.
Split second with a lot of time on his clock.
Asked
Wesley
and
now
answered.
moving his king. Wesley's only hope is his own G-pawn. But first, get that king out of here. He says, move it somewhere before I plant my queen down on the D7 square and force you to.
And by the
give
way,
up a
that
rook.
was very important check, because rook on F3 to E3 check would have picked up the E pawn, because the king had been forced all the way to F2. So this move, Queen D2, was absolutely sensational.
And now we're waiting for the big kill.
Queen D7 or D8. Either one should give white victory.
And in bizarre, I don't understand the computer's evaluation right now. They're just saying Queen D7 is meant by rook to F8. No, that's got to be wrong.
The king, the pawn
pawn is
cannot.
pinned.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, that means you can't win.
He's played Queen D6
That
check.
means he's-
Oh,
he's-
Wesley almost made a huge mistake. Wesley was reaching for his rook because he had anticipated Queen to D8 so that he was going to play rook on F3 to F8. But Queen D6 check came,
But
which was a big
yes.
surprise. Sorry, please.
Yes, good point. But at the same time, the king on E4 set himself up for a
For the
mistake, for the
pin.
pin. So now Queen D7 no longer works because of rook F8. The other rook to F8, and you cannot capture the rook. Because
Exactly.
the rook on E8 is pinned.
he's
here,
done it, and
And
that
there's
was-
the move. You can't take the rook. We have a new chess game on our hands.
He's going to move his rook and then make his G pawn live.
But then
If the king was on D4,
that would
then-
never have been the case.
Exactly.
But not only that, the two rooks guard the back rank perfectly forever. You take your rook off of F8, and then you can also start thinking about pushing your own G pawn down the board.
That's exactly
the game's
it.
on fire again. He
Fleur
was
de
completely
Nous.
winning Firouzja after being under so much pressure, but now he's allowed Wesley back in the game, and now King H5, and he's thinking of advancing
No
his
question
G pawn.
about.
And once he deflects you, well, who's going to stop his pawn from queening? He could just start pushing. Your queen will have to come back, and you dropping your E7 pawn. Now the youngster's the one under pressure. King to D5.
Oh my gosh. This game has been a novel.
I don't even know what
I mean,
to tell you.
a drama.
Total drama. And
Of 5 acts, it seems like to me. And now, after the move King D5, the pawn on E7 was in fact threatening to capture the rook, but the rook belongs behind the passed pawn, and look at that G pawn go. Oh my goodness.
what is happening
What
right
has
now?
happened?
What is happening?
And
by
now the
way,
queen has to come back to defend the pawn.
And the engine is going bananas up and down. We're not even going to pay attention because
Roller
this one is
coaster
all about
ride.
nerves. Can they make it to the finish line? Queen, is that queen? Oh, Queen H6 check. I wanted to play Rook G7.
Yes.
Almost drop a rook in
Yes.
that position. It's so hard to maintain pieces when the queen is free. But
Wesley has
What
an
is the plan
interesting idea of playing Rook H8, Rook on E8 to G8, and then pushing the pawn. The reason I didn't like this is I think White's. If I'm White, I'm scrambling for the perpetual check right here, right now. I want to get out and say,
you've been wanting
what
to get out for 20 moves.
What the heck has gone on with this game? I've lost control.
Wesley looks different now. He's got a different attitude. He sees that he has a way to the draw. And there it is.
Perpetual check.
Amazing struggle.
Woo!
Insane.
One game left. Peter Svidler, let's get